FPL, welcome back to the FPL Focus Shed. I'm Livesey Lovesit. It's good to see you back. Now, we are, 3 sleeps away from the deadline. Have you sorted your team out yet? Well, I have made some changes to mine. Several times, in all honesty. I could have done this video, 10 times over since the very last time I saw you guys, but let's go and have a look and see where I'm up to now then, shall we? So this time last week I had a team that looked a little bit like this. Alisson in goal, Reece James, Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo, Nico Williams as a sort of like double switcheroo sort of player with Nathan Patterson as my £4 million enablers. Then in midfield I had Salah and De Bruyne as the big guns, desperate to have De Bruyne in my team. Either side of that, 2 young up and coming, Gordon and Ramsey, with the intention of looking to find players of the ilk, around those prices to enable me to have those players in my team. And then up top I had Undav and Kane. On the bench I was all basic, and I had Begovic, I had Luke Plange, Patterson and Andreas as discussed. But what I thought after I'd finished and I've come up with all of this fantastic planning is I am just not confident enough in these players. Nico Williams, Ramsey, Gordon, Undav. For me, that's just too many ifs, buts and maybes at this stage of the season. I think these are maybe these prices are where I need to go when I've seen a little bit more evidence of this, of what I'm expecting them to deliver, to be honest with you. So without further ado, let's go and have a look at my team as it stands now then. So here we go. Here's my new team then. As it stands, I have still got Alisson in goal. I still think he's great value at £5.5 million. 176 points last season. Great opening fixtures for Liverpool. Safe pair of hands. Bonus points magnet. Yeah, what's not to like? I think it's a solid choice, and I don't think he'll definitely be in contention for highest scoring FPL points goalkeeper this season. So he starts for me, particularly with those fixtures in mind as well. Maybe we'll see a 4.5 emerge over the coming weeks, bearing in mind the transfer window's still open. Maybe Danny Ward will nail down that place at Leicester and come out fighting all guns and be a great £4 million keeper to start with, in which case then maybe it is worth having a cheaper keeper. But as it stands, I want that solidity in goal. Into defence, Reece James. I've talked about his attacking potential before. There is talk of him playing as right of a 3 at the back, possibly moving forward, but I don't see that, to be honest with you. Maybe you're playing a back 4, but Trent plays in a back 4. It's not the end of the world. He has that attacking instinct. He likes to get forward. He likes to score goals, and we've seen his stats last season, how when he does play, he does better than the other players, than Trent and Cancelo even, points per game. So yeah, very good person to have in the team. Alexander-Arnold speaks for himself. We all need him in our team. 7.5 million. We just got to pay that, and to be honest, he could be worth more. I think 200 points plus last season again. Cancelo also likewise. Man, these two defences have great opening 6-8 fixtures of the season. I mean, most of their fixtures are good, aren't they? Because they are great teams, let's be honest. But even better to start off with. So I won't spend any more time on those because I think they're in a lot of people's teams. Ivan Perisic has returned to my team. He has replaced one of my 4.0 midfielder enablers, and I have just one now, which is going to be my bench backup. And we'll move to that shortly. But yes, Ivan Perisic is in. He's played in pre-season now, 30 minutes, 70 minutes. There's been quotes coming out from Conte where he's expecting even more from Perisic. I like the sound of those comments. I think he's a starter in game week 1. He's a winger by trade, by the sounds of it. They're playing in a wing-back system, and I think he's just going to be great value for money. I think Spurs will have tightened up at the back. I really see them challenging, actually, pushing them and Arsenal. I really see those two teams almost making up the top four this season. I can see Chelsea being pushed out. For Arsenal and Spurs, I think they're going to have fantastic seasons. And they're growing, and they're getting stronger and stronger, both of those teams. Whereas Chelsea seem to just be shifting along, not improving, shall we say. So that makes up my defence. Part of my reasoning is I want to not worry about this defence. If I'm going to be totally honest, I've spent a fair whack of my £100 million budget on this defence. But for me, I hopefully then don't have to worry about them too much, and my transfer business can be optimised further up the pitch, where I have got some bargain basement players as fixtures swing, which I think is really important in that area, and something I'm going to work really hard to sort of like attack a little bit more this season. Players in form, well, I suppose that's always the case, but really sort of like understand it. Let's move into midfield and see where I'm up to there. And I have Leon Bailey in midfield now. £5 million maestro, has been scoring in pre-season. I know Bailey of old. I can remember Baz off Toffee TV was desperate for him to sign at Everton based on the way he played, and I know he watches a lot of the Bundesliga. He was desperate to sign him. Got some injuries last season, didn't start off too great as expected, but sometimes it takes a little while for these players to come in and adapt to the Premier League. It takes a season or so. So I think for £5 million, he's scoring for a couple of goals in pre-season. One was a beauty. I mean, I literally switched the Man United Villa game on just to have a look and see what was going on, to check out Bailey and Rashford. It was actually in that game. Literally within 2 minutes, I only switched on for the second half. Bailey come on and he'd scored a goal and turned the game round in Villa's favour, and he had a real big impact in that second half. So for me, at £5 million, he's my punt, if you like. Alongside Martinelli, who has been doing even better pre-season. Now, I know pre-season isn't the be-all and end-all, but Arsenal have had a phenomenal pre-season, and I think something would have to seriously go wrong for that to drop off the cliff, particularly with their opening set of fixtures. Some great fixtures they've got. Up until last night, this was Saka in my team, but I've gone for Martinelli based on I think he's nailed down that position on the left-hand side of Gabriel Jesus, and I wanted to have a City player in my team. It's as simple as that. I've studied, I've looked, I've gone into it, and I think it's the most difficult sort of decision, the £8 million slot that lots of people are struggling with in the middle of the field. But I've gone for Phil Foden. Like I said, I wanted Kevin De Bruyne. I've had to sacrifice my threemium choices, and hopefully that's a little bit stronger now. Bailey's sort of like my punt. Martinelli is hopefully a little bit more established than Gordon and Jacob Ramsey were, and obviously I put Bailey in my team now, so I don't want two Villa, although they have got Bournemouth first game, and maybe that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I don't think he started in the last game, and quite often the last game before the game week one is in pre-season is a strong indication of the team that's going to be starting the week after. Not exact, but it's a strong indication. You're looking like 80-90% of the players starting that game are the ones for the following week. Salah, I'm not going to go into that. Obviously, I've got Salah because I've got Salah and I'm not stupid. No offence to anybody who hasn't got Salah, but I just don't think that's a very good idea at this stage of the season. Bearing in mind, opening 16 games for last season, he scored 160 points, 10 points on average per game in the opening 16 games. So, yes, he didn't have a great second half of last season, just scoring just under 100 points. But up until game week 16, he was averaging 10 points a game. So we started the season on fire. He's had a rest. Is he going to do the same again? I wouldn't bet against it. And then up front, this is another thing that's forced my hand for me. The departed Kevin De Bruyne for the time being. It is Gabriel Jesus' form in pre-season, I just cannot ignore it. And also Undar's form was pretty terrible. I don't think there's many teams without Jesus in now. If you haven't, then on Friday night I suggest you hide, because he could very well haul massively. And then I have gone for Harry Kane over Haaland. I just think this is a better fixture. I'll look at it again next week. I certainly want to triple up on City going into the Bournemouth game. Maybe I will transfer Kane to Haaland. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But right here, right now, it feels right to have Kane. He looks sharp. He looks hungry. He looks lean. He's been scoring goals for fun. Other players for the Spurs team have been substituted at the 60, sort of 70 sort of minute mark. Kane's been playing full games. I'm expecting him to come out firing. I think he actually believes Spurs have got a chance this season under Antonio Conte, and why shouldn't they? They've strengthened. I can see good things for Spurs this season under Antonio Conte. I really can, and I can see Kane being the beneficiary of that. I think he's the one player. He's almost the last player to come off if they needed to change things in attack, because he's the only player of that type in this team. So that's why he gets in my team, and that's why my team is structured the way it is. I've tripled up on Liverpool, as you can see, but that's my only triple up as it stands. Sort of leaves me flexible moving into the first few games weeks of the season. I would like to enable a triple up on Bournemouth, for which Man City are playing them, then Arsenal playing them. I think Liverpool are playing them in week 3, is it? Week 4. So I think there's potential for, you know, some triple ups here and really benefit from that Scott Parker statement that came out indicating how his team are weaker than when they were in the Championship, and he doesn't have any defenders. I believe centre back could be somebody who was playing for Fleetwood Town just a couple of months ago and doesn't even have a value in FPL. Sorry, I can't remember who tweeted that earlier today, or I would give you the credit. On the bench, I have gone for Danny Ward. Looks to be a starting £4 million goalkeeper for Leicester, with the Kasper Schmeichel departure looming possibly by the end of this week. I can't see him playing again anyway. He's made his feelings known. It looks like that's the way out. And Brendan Rodgers has come out and said that he believes there is a number one goalkeeper at the club already, and I believe that to be Danny Ward. I've seen him play for Wales. Good goalkeeper. I think now's his time, but he's my backup keeper, and you know I'm not too worried about that at the minute. To be honest, I could have any 4.0 goalkeeper on there. I certainly couldn't have Adrian because I'm tripled up anyway. So normally, if it was a Raya, then I would go for his backup keeper, just in case he got injured. I've gone for Patterson over Nico Williams, and I don't think this is just about the Everton bias. I think this is about the fixtures. His fixtures are better in the sort of opening 5 weeks of the season. I don't think this is the worst fixture in the world, but he's on my bench anyway. And then he's got Aston Villa away, Nottingham Forest at home, Brentford away, Leeds away. 3 of those are away, but I think there's better fixtures than Nico Williams has. And like I say, he's not a starter for me anyway. Andreas at Liverpool, he's the best £4.5 million midfielder that's out there, as I'm sure you're fully aware. He's on set pieces, attacking midfielder, looks to be a certain starter. They've spent some good money on him there at Fulham. And then Luke Plans, I think there's a couple of 4.5s you can go for. It's a toss of a coin which one of them's going to come up trumps. We've got Archer at Villa, who's decided to stick around and he's going to be part of the squad. Luke Plans, who I've got at the moment, who scored a hat-trick, playing for Crystal Palace. He did replace Edouard the other day, came on for the last 11 minutes for Crystal Palace. So he seems to be in the manager's thinking, former Arsenal player. And I just think I don't want to go for Greenwood in case he loses his value because people ditch him in a few weeks' time. I think he's a lesser owned player, basically, at 2%. As you can see, he's a graduate of the Arsenal Academy. And that makes up my team for this game week 1, there could well be the odd change or two. I think there's a possibility that Foden might change to another £8 million player, but I'm pretty set on it now. The rest of them I feel are pretty locked in. I've had so many combinations. This one feels the most balanced, the sort of most almost safe in terms of known quantities, good pre-seasons. Perisic is possibly my biggest gamble there, and I'm Bailey, but I think you've got to have you can't guarantee every position. Let's see what happens, eh? Let's see what happens. Right. If you'd like to join my league, check the link below. That'd be great. I'll be doing a team of the week every week in the season. If you've enjoyed my show this evening, please subscribe to the channel. I'm after getting 50 subscribers. I'm on 48. 2 more of you. Please do if you've stuck it till this point. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Please like the video. Really helps motivate me to make more, and I'm really enjoying it. We're nearly there. I'm planning to do a live stream on Thursday night. I've decided not to do best midfielders, best forwards videos, as I talked about last night after I've done my goalkeeper one. Basically, what the plan is I've done this, my game week 1 team selection tonight, and tomorrow, if I get a chance, I'm going to do a players on the watch list, the ones that nearly made it, the ones that have been in and out of this team. And for some of them, the likes of, Robertson, Haaland, there's lots of players that could make my team, but I've had to make various choices and try and balance things out to maximize my points return, and that's what I feel I've done. So yeah, maybe there'll be a little video of the ones that could have made it coming out tomorrow. And then on Thursday night, live stream, sort of maybe 8:30ish, a little bit of a tinker. Anybody wants to join in, come up with some questions, like, we'll go do some analysis live on a stream, and then hopefully a deadline stream on the Friday for the final lock-in. Right, guys, if you've stuck with me, thanks very much. Over and out. Don't forget who loves you. Livesey loves you. See you later. Bye-bye.